and we are live with a sobered up Mr. Chris Palmer and
Yes.
and my good self. So hope you're all good, everyone else out there, hangover or not. It will be good to see you guys. Just back doing our regular Wednesday slots where we'll answer any questions that you do have. So make sure that you do get your questions in the live chat. Also, make sure that you give Mr. Chris Palmer some love on YouTube for all the work he does on YouTube, not just on this show, but all of the other good stuff he's putting out there. And also make sure that you do give this little channel a little like and subscribe as well. But yeah, let us know who's here today, guys, in the chat. Let us know where you're from and start piling in with your questions. But this, we were talking off the air there, you had a little bit of a hangover situation. So you are, what, 32, right?
32, yeah.
32. When did you stop drinking regular? Like, how long did hangovers last you now? Because, like, when I'm 40 now, but I've probably not drunk that hard for, like, the last 10 years. Because after I cross over 30, it is an absolute fucking killer. So are you the same? Like, just can't be bothered now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever really do it. It just depends. Like certain guys, like my really, like I went out with my really good buddy, and so I was like, I just couldn't help myself. I only drank like, I don't know, 6 shots and 2 beers or something, but that's a lot for me. So in any case though, but the booze, and like when I first turned 21, 22, 23, I did a lot of drinking. But really I completely stopped once my daughter was born. Like I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm not going out to the bars anymore. But as far as the hangover piece, I don't know how it switched. It was almost like, I would say around 27, 28, like I would go out and then a day later, I'm like, oh, I used to be able to wake right up and be like, woohoo, like back to normal Chris, you know? And now it's like, and then the little guys jumping on me. Hey, Dad, what's going on today? I'm like, my wife's yelling at me. What are you doing? No, I thought you were working. Well, I was working, and then we went out for a little bit. You know how it goes.
Yeah,
I've been punished now. You know, you're not going back out with Eric for. That's all good though.
But good to know you've finally recovered and also suffer from the old age syndrome. We have got Theo. We have Elton Musa. And
another caveat, only digital marketers can go out on a Monday night and party.
Yeah.
Right?
He's good old student. Well, not that I was ever a crazy student. Good
morning. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, Craig Mullins. Nancy, good to see you from sunny Florida. Hope all is well out there. So we've got a lot of different guys here.
I like this new setup you got going on, Craig. These colors. Wow.
I just changed the colors, man. That's all it is.
Oh. No, you could have said, hey, I went through I put these you should have doctored it up a little bit.
And this little kind of watermarky, well, not watermark, just a little image in the top corner makes me look more professional.
Looks professional as hell.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the skip cap and the basketball vest, how professional that is, but that's
but we see you dripping though with the Balenciaga and the Yeezys and I see you dripping, Craig.
You've got to. I don't dress up for other people. I dress what's comfortable.
That's right.
Which is the way everyone should be, in my opinion.
I agree.
But enough of the waffle, guys. We see who's here. Let's get your questions started. So we had Muaz Qureshi at the start. I think he was in 10 minutes before we went live. So thank you for coming in early. Please explain about curated backlinks and especially the role of RD100 or RD1000. What does that mean? So Chris, do you want to do that one?
Well, a curated backlink is yet another type of backlink. Now, with that out of the way, a backlink's a link, right? Overall. Now, when we're talking about RDs, we're looking at referring domains. Referring domains is what dictates the strength of the link, in my opinion. One of the ways. So when you see somebody that has RD 1000 pluses, you want to go ahead and give me their email so I can get in touch with them quick. And then, I would go for those as long as the price is right.
Yeah. Yeah. Referring domains is one of just a number of factors I look at when I'm looking at a backlink. Obviously when I'm looking at a backlink, I'm also looking at, I do, and I know it's a third party metric, but I do look at DR to give me an indicator of whether it's powerful or not. I'll look at traffic, rankings, and a few other bits and bobs as well. Everyone's got a slightly different process. Don't just base it on referring domains. I mean, you could essentially, but you want to make sure that everything else is in the right order as well. And I think having traffic and rankings on a website that links to you is also a good signal. So hopefully that explains a little bit about what that means.
And to elaborate a little bit more, because I think it's a great question, how you were talking about looking at other things, I would also be looking at, the internal linking structure of the website that the link is on, the anchor text coming into that website, also the anchor text that they're willing to give you. I would be looking at those metrics too. But how you just said about DR, would you use that as the barometer of, would you say that that's the go-to for you, Craig?
Not the go-to, because DR can be manipulated, as we all know. So no, it's not that's the first thing I go for. And I think, with a genuine website, what do we look for? We want the most powerful link we can get, right? And DR is that kind of indicator for me. Like, is it a DR 80? I mean, I'll then investigate it further and find out why, and if it really is a DR 80. But when I'm looking at a link, if a guy puts 3 links in the table, one's a DR 30, one's a DR 55, and one's a DR 72, I want the 72. So that is what triggers in my head first. And then I'll look at the 72, look at the referring domain name, see if it's been spammed the shit out of, if it ranks, if it gets traffic, and all that stuff. So I wouldn't say DR's the barometer as such, but it kind of is, if you know what I mean. Like, it is that first thing I would look at. But I would say you need to understand that people can fake DR. Just for anyone listening, don't go by DR, because I've seen DR 60s that have no traffic, no rankings, and that is absolutely a no-go as far as my own personal, when I'm filtering through for links. I don't want shit like that. So
that's right.
I just want to make that part clear.
And you touched on that too. I think I'm in definitely the same boat as you. I get this question a lot: quantity or quality? Would I rather 10 DR 40s or one DR 85? It's like, well, I'll take the one, maybe.
Yeah. Or who's stopping me from taking that DR 85 and then going to get another 10 DR 40?
Yeah.
I'm a greedy bastard. I'll have them all.
Yeah. I think quality is more important than quantity, though. Definitely.
But no, definitely. Quality will always beat quantity in all walks of life.
Yep.
So Umar Farouk, when I'm getting guest posts, should I link them to my internal articles or the homepage? It's a new site, so I haven't built any links yet other than guest posting. So on a new site, Chris, what does your link building strategy look like from the get-go?
I mean, from the very get-go, I mean, if it's brand new, and I think I talked to him about this, a lot of it's going to have to, very first thing is going to be social. Then the next step is setting up Web 2s. Then after that, obviously, press releases. The very first link that I get is the most powerful link I could possibly get and point it right at the homepage, like 1 or maybe 2. This would be in, the first 30 days. And then after that, I would just be looking at my pillar content, whatever ranking content I want. Then I'd be sending 1 or 2 more links to those main ranking articles. But I mean, I don't like just start blasting right away. I mean, I'm not you know, it's slow. Like when I say link building, it's maybe 1 or 2 links. Like if it's not my site, you know, if I care about it and somebody's paying me, it's 1 or 2 links, the best links I could possibly get. And guest posts.
But so you're building a handful to the homepage, and then you're popping a few links to the supporting articles.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. Yep. And then as far as, you know, internal pages, like say a guest post or a PBN, a lot of those guys, at least some of the guys where I go, they'll give me 2 links. So a link, you can get double value out of a link if you're pointing it at 2 different pages.
Yeah.
So like say you get a guest post, ask for 2 links to the same website, one going to this page and then one in the bottom of the silo. So the top ranking page and then one in the bottom, or one to the homepage, one to the article.
Yeah.
So you get double. It's very beneficial.
Yeah. No, good answer. And yeah, as Chris says, don't go wild with it at the start. Build out other stuff in socials and all of that kind of stuff. Try and appear natural. Popping everything to the homepage is an absolute disaster. So let me scroll down. Good morning. Good morning. Craig Mullins called you a lightweight.
I am a lightweight. I am bad.
Dan Jones, hi Chris. Can the network you teach in your CTR manipulation course be set up to show that mobile devices are in the UK locations?
Well, when we're talking about mobile networks, we're talking about a network, right? IPs are based and mobiles are based on 2 separate factors. One being the IP location and where it originates from, which is the most important aspect. The second part is the device location. I can manipulate the device location of my laptop, Craig's laptop. I could do it from here if I can get a remote connection. So what you need to be focusing on isn't necessarily the device, but where is the proxy located, or the IP address? Where does it originate from? Because when they're doing tokening access, whatever the hell they call it, that's where they're looking. They're looking at, okay, what's the browser? Okay, where's the device located? And then they keep going. Okay, where's the IP originate from? And then you see what I'm saying? So the answer to your question is yes, you can, but that's not where you need to be looking.
Yeah. I would totally agree. Elton Musa, I created a test GMB with an exact match name and city, and now Google doesn't even show the 3-pack anymore, only this GMB. Is there a way to permanently remove this listing even though I created it? Google doesn't let me delete or change anything in it. The listing is not verified.
Well, if it's unverified, then I get a new Gmail and start over. And then 2, even if it was verified, you could still go in and change it. It's not recommended. But in unverified, who cares? Just move on to the next. You can get pin drops for $10. Go buy 100 of them and then, start your campaigns.
Yeah. Because Google doesn't let you delete it, don't let it hold you back. Umar Farouk, if I get a guest post contextual link from a DA15 site versus a forum link from DA15, both have do follow link and 1K visitors per month, which one of these would have more SEO power?
The contextual link. Obviously, always.
What I would say to anyone who asks a question like that, Google have for many years been battling against link builders and spam and all that kind of stuff, to the point where I believe that footer links don't get the same weight that they used to. Sidebar links don't get the same weight they used to. Contextual links, Google have to give authority to, because it's the main body and the part of a website where you would expect to see a link. Whereas again, with forums, people have rammed them to death. So 100% Google are given less weight to links in specific positions. And I would also probably think forum links would come under that bracket as well. Can't say 100% on the forum stuff because I don't own a forum to test that theory. But I do know that sidebar links and footer links and everything else do not pass the same value that they once did. I would say you see a massive decrease in any weight pushed from links that are placed in those sources.
That's
People used to spam them to death. Footer links were spammed to death back in the day. You know, this, that, the next thing. And yeah, that's just my theory on it. And people
and two, I've given away numerous lists. Let's say you go out and you build 500 of them. You know, like I used to sell these links, so I know. You go build 500 of them and sit and look at the crawlers, Ahrefs, wherever you want to look, and see how many of them actually you can even see within the. You build 500, 50 of them will pop for you. You know, so that's just to show you. You know what I mean? It's just. I think that they can help as far as diversifying, but it's definitely not step one. It needs to be. You know, you just maybe you have a day off or something, just having some fun, but it shouldn't be part of any link building strategy at all.
Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. Can I create Web 2.0s in the same email as the one I have for analytics and search console, or would you use a different email?
I mean, I have it. Now when I do stuff, I try to keep every single thing separated. Each campaign, each persona is its own standalone. Do I think that it makes a difference? It's just over the course of time. I just feel that I would keep them separate. Do it with new Gmails.
Let everything up. Don't leave any footprints. I would go with Chris's weird way of doing it, but it's probably the safest way of doing it as well. So, yeah, I would tend to agree with that, Chris. Bradley Hip-Hop. Hey guys, one of my clients got an exact match PBN link years ago, which has gone wild and replicated 150 times. The page ranked. No way to reach the PBN owner. What can I do? Just disavow that if you think it's harming you. Why would you need to get rid of it? I'm not so sure. One link's not going to cause that much damage to your website. But if you really feel that you want nothing to do with that link, disavow it. But there's nothing you can do if you can't reach the PBN owner. If he doesn't want to remove it or has forgotten about it or whatever, you're pretty much fucked. So, Chris, what would your answer to that be?
Yeah, first and foremost, I would never just worry about one link. But two, I mean, that's you nailed it. I mean, that's what to do.
Chris, welcome back.
Thank you.
I think you've been on holiday or something.
I'm only gone a day and a half. You know how things are, though. It's fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, make sure you do also give the video a like as well, because we do want those engagement signals on the video. So make sure you do hit that like button and also subscribe if you want. But Angad Kapoor, what do you use to boost citations? Heard it boosts your GMB and helps in ranking GMBs.
I think that as a trusted brand or building an entity, it should, especially a local property, it should start and end with the citation. And I think multiple waves of citations are important. With that said, as far as boosting it, I'm not sure how you would go about doing that. However, I think building multiple waves of citations to different pages, different service pages is helpful. I don't know about boosting. What do you think, Craig?
I don't boost citations. GMB citations obviously help your Google My Business listings rank. Of course they do, because that's Google are looking for the consistency of the name, address, and postcode. But I certainly wouldn't go to be boosting that stuff, because people are not even building citations, let alone boosting their citations. So do you need to go to that level of aggression? Does it even work? I'm not so sure. You know, what you want to do, send more traffic to the GMB, get those engagement signals, probably pop a few links to the CID URL and various other bits and bobs, and your GMB will rank. Boosting citations, never heard of anyone doing that. I think it's probably way over the top in terms of aggression. That, you know, and I've not yet to come across a niche where that's been required. But yeah.
Frame the review ID.
The
place ID that you can leave a review, frame that into the site and run traffic through that. I've been seeing boosts with that. I don't want to say too much, but utilizing frames of entities that are within the GMB and framing that to the site and running traffic through there Powerful. Very powerful.
Yeah. Can I do a guest post on a site that has around 400,000 links from 3,000 domains if it's relevant? If you want, Umar, if you want to get a link on there, there's no reason why not. But
on a site that has 4,000 links from 3K domains, I think that's irrelevant. It's got 3,000 links then coming in, you know. I don't know. I think you would. I think I would start. You know, before going through, I would take a look and see where is your competition. Where are they getting their links from, and start.
Yeah.
You'll find a lot of opportunities that Google's already rewarding. I would start with those first.
Yes. And if a guest post on a site, these questions are getting silly now, Umar.
Yeah, you're getting finite with the questions. Really.
Yeah. Do I get the authority of that domain? Absolutely not. You're going to get a small amount, but you know they're going into real minute detail here and things that you don't need to worry about. And we don't want to be getting down into that kind of stuff.
He's a good guy, but I think he's really trying to put the pieces together. You know what I mean, Craig?
Yeah.
In his mind.
What I would say to a guy like Umar, and I don't mean this as an offensive thing, but don't worry about those small, shitty little things that don't mean anything. Just go and build links and spend less time worrying about whether you get the full authority or any kind of authority. Just get the link. You know a link's beneficial. Concentrate on that rather than trying to overthink it and overcomplicate it by saying how much percentage of a domain's authority am I going to get? Because we can't answer that question. Like no one can. And I think for me, that's the thing that a lot of people make massive mistakes on when it comes to SEO is they overthink things and overcomplicate things in their brain. Simplify it, and you know that links work. Go away and get links rather than, you know, trying to drill down into the nitty gritty because Chris doesn't know the answer. I don't know the answer, you know, to give you a specific figure. And it's not that we're being, you know, idiots by saying, well, we're not telling him that. Just no one knows the answer. Who cares about the answer? Just do more of what's working rather than trying to get an exact formula for SEO because it will change in 3 months' time anyway. So
that's right.
That is the best piece of advice I could give you, Umar. Elton Musa, when do you announce the winner of the SEO Autopilot lifetime license? When I hit the 45,000 subscriber mark, that winner will be announced. I'm at 44,200 and something. So, guys, subscribe, share the shit out of this, do everything else you can, and I will happily announce that winner as soon as that happens.
10K since you and I have been talking together. 10K, man. That's awesome. You know, good growth. Must be doing something right, Craig.
Ken Green, have either of you tried Mentorprise?
I feel like I was asked that before.
Yeah, well, we were asked it last week. I'm playing with it just now. So if you're going to ask me what this is, Chris, it's a content creation tool, which also doubles up as a publishing tool. So you can create, basically, I could create a blog post with 15,000 subdomains as a PBN on autopilot in about 5 minutes. And it's fucking insane, absolutely insane. Mentorprise is. I've got videos coming out on Mentorprise and over the next couple of weeks. I'm just playing around, testing and getting getting a feel for the tool just now. I think Paul, the chap that owns it, who I've had various Skype conversations with, says that there's probably only around 50 people in the world with that particular tool. And it's not out to the masses just yet, but it's certainly something that we for sure will be talking about in the future, and you should look into it. Chris will actually ping you some stuff on it later on. But yeah, great tool, great piece of kit, and I think it's got a lot of I think it'll be a really good one. It's a big one that I'm really excited about. So yeah, I'll let you know the results. Umar, Should I post 2 or 3 small articles per week or one big article? Whatever you like. Umar, again, you're starting to dig way too deep. One big article, 2 or 3 small ones, it really makes no difference. You have people arguing that bigger articles are better, smaller ones are better. I think quality over quantity. Just make sure that you get good articles out there and try and stop the crap. But Chris, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, I would try to do as much as I possibly could. I wouldn't say, oh, I need to do this many or this many. But personally, I would stick somewhere around the 2,000 words. I don't know what you would consider if that's big or small. 2,000, shoot for that mark. And I wouldn't worry about it, man. Just post, just do it.
BHKJK, Chris, love you. Bit of man love going on there. Does link velocity really matter?
No, I don't believe that it does. I think that consistency of links coming into a site shows relevancy, which I think is beneficial over the long course of a website. But the amount or how fast they come in, if I build 1,000 today, is that going to have a downgrade or a bad effect on me? Probably not. Do I think that it needs to keep going? No. I don't think velocity matters. I just think that you need a steady, that your site is growing,
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Umar is asking again, how do I reach out to people who are linking to my competitors? I mean, what do I say to them? Link to me? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Lick some ass, whatever it takes, flirt with them, send them some man love, tell them you love them. Just like someone said to Chris, you say whatever works for you. Different people accept different chit chat. You have to figure that one out yourself.
A lot of templates.
Try different options, and if it doesn't work, just try and figure out. But no one can say a definitive answer on that. It's trial and error, and just be straight to the point. No, there's no point in messing around. Elton Musa, are you going to re-upload the Menterprise video, Craig? Yes, I will re-upload the Menterprise video when I'm 100% happy with it. There was a few things on there that I wasn't happy about, which is why I took it down. Well, it wasn't that I wasn't happy about it. Just the owner wants me to angle it slightly different when I do the video. Because he doesn't want the masses jumping on Menterprise. He wants people who understand it, appreciate its value and stuff like that. He doesn't want the masses jumping on and ripping the arse right out of his tool. So hopefully in the next week or so, I will have a lot more videos on Menterprise out there. And obviously give you some examples of what I've been doing with it and how I've figured out the best way to use it. So hopefully that helps. Bradley Hiphop, will a canonical tag pass a link penalty internal?
Well, I know a canonical link can pass power, so could it pass a penalty? I can't say for certain. I can't say for certain.
I can't say for certain either. It's not something I've done a single variable test on in any way. But I wouldn't be looking to pass. I would be getting, I would be playing. I would use the mindset that it would potentially pass a penalty. Because if you can pass power, you can also pass a penalty. So that would be my train of thought. But I might be wildly inaccurate with that. So,
I played that too. It's got to be. And two, if you're doing canonical and you're building pages out, I stumbled across this when I was building out paid campaigns. Like, it doesn't work unless it's like identical. If there's any small changes in there, it's not the same. So take that information how you will.
Yeah.
It's got to be identical. So the content is what I'm talking.
Umar again, are there any good press release websites that are cheap and affordable? Tons of them. PR Wire, cheap and affordable doesn't always mean good though.
Yeah.
Again, there's some good cheap ones out there that probably do all right. But again, that's something you need to test and figure out the best vendor for that, because I'm not sharing mine, because they're already too busy. What about you, Chris? Do you have any vendors you can share on that?
Well, I mean, I'm very, very, very frugal. And I'll say this though, one of the conversations that I always have if I do take in anybody is always, you know, whatever we go and we buy is going to be, I want to aim for the best quality that you can afford. So don't ever go for cheap. Not when it comes to your site and links. So with that said, I don't want to give up who I've been using. But no, I don't know anybody to go to. I'm sorry.
Craig Mullins, what are your favorite marketing events to go to around the world? Who still has epic after parties? They all do. Most events have amazing after parties. That's what events are about, right?
Where's the best event, Craig? You go to all of them, don't you?
Yeah, I've not been to every single one, but where's
the knowledge the best? I don't care. I mean, the party's cool, but where's the juice at? If I was going to lay down my $700 or whatever it is, where would I go? I'm actually curious. I'm honestly asking you.
So the one that Big Mike Pearson stuff ran, NFG Rockstars, was a good event, because it was a small event. I think there was only like 150 to 200 people there, but it was 150 to 200 people that were super smart people. There are Chiang Mai SEO. There's a lot of good speakers and stuff like that as well. Listen, there's great places. I'm in Poland in 2 weeks' time, and again, super smart guys there. But what I would say is that the kind of smaller events that are more expensive, if you like, are probably the place to go. What things to consider if it's the knowledge you're going for rather than the parties. Now, you can go to any event and there'll be a bloody good party, and obviously if your mates are there, then it's always a good time. But if you're going for knowledge as well, what you want, things to look for is the conference being filmed and live streamed? If it is, no one's going to be giving good information away. Now, a lot of these private events or masterminds or whatever that are not recorded, you can sit and let loose, and you're not going to be pulled up or told you're this or that. And I think that is something to consider when you look at these events. If I'm talking in front of a camera, I can only give a small percentage away of what I actually do and what I know. Whereas if it's a one-to-one conversation at a bar or at an event where it's not been filmed, then I can really have a lot of fun with it and talk about all of the shady shit that I do. So I think, those kind of closed door, invite only events are the place where the knowledge is at. But I've been to NFG Rockstars, Chiang Mai SEO. There's gigs all over the place, and it's all about the people that are there and their ethics. I'm not going to sit here and slag some of the bigger conferences, but some of the bigger conferences are a business, if you like, and they're just there to sell tickets to new people interested in SEO and all that kind of stuff. And they're not that focused on the learning side of it, whereas a lot of the smaller conferences is more about, you're not pitching here, you're not doing this.
Yeah.
You've got to add value and all of that stuff. So it's I've been to a lot of great events. I wouldn't like to just single out one, but these are things to consider as the more mastermindy, smaller type events. I think there's a lot more value to be had at these than some of those big corporate events where there's 4,000 or 5,000 people there, and it's just a booze fest, really.
Makes sense.
Hopefully that helps.
Okay.
Paul Hogden looks like another humdinger. Craig and Chris, how much more powerful is a niche specific link? Have you any examples?
I don't think it's about strength of the link. I think a link is a link. Now, for longevity, I've talked about this numerous times. I think that maybe in the future, just like think of this, some of the tools they'll do intersection tools, like I think SCMrush does it, or Moz, or one of them, they'll say it's an intersection link. Oh, your competitor has this link. If they're smart enough to do it, Google's smart enough to do it. So I think for the long run, I think that association and the overall topic of a link will play more of a part. But for now, I think a link is a link. And as far as referring domains and the power and the anchor text coming in is really the most important. What do you think, Craig?
I mean, again, to reiterate what you're saying, I think, to future-proof your business, you want to try and get it as relevant as possible. I do know people who just make sure that the surrounding content around a link is relevant. Some people make that page. So if it's on a business blog, they'll make that page about SEO. They'll the guest post will be about SEO, and that's their way of getting it relevant. So this whole niche specific and how relevant does a link have to be, I'm not entirely sure at this stage. I think relevance is not a great thing. I think going forward, I think it will come more into play. But how much is relevant? Is it just the surrounding text? Is it the whole page? Is it the whole website? That is something that is obviously up for much debate. And as it stands, a powerful link from a generic business website is enough to power up my website. It doesn't have to be about SEO or anything else. But again, future-proofing it, will Google come in and slam those generic business links, in 2 years' time, and just start to count links that are super, super, super relevant? Who knows? So yeah, it's hard to give, and I don't want to give any examples of any niche specific links. I don't like sharing that data in case someone starts reverse engineering my shit. If you got anything you want to share, Chris?
No.
I
will say the traffic. I think traffic coming. Is that site where you're getting a link getting traffic? I will say this. A link can be ultra powerful, but as the traffic decreases on that site, so does the strength of the link. I don't know, I can't give whatever, the specialty tests. I can't pinpoint that, but I just notice, I'm just watching. It's just like, hey, this link is junk now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to start. I don't know. I talked to you, Craig. I went on a little bit of a spree so I could start showcasing, because people want to see, hey, how do you do this from start till finish? So I went out and bought a couple sites so I could start. All right, hey, we're gonna do this site, and I'm gonna show you how to rank it in 90 days or whatever. Yeah, fun, because people are always trying to test.
Has put a question in here with redirect from old to new URL, but I haven't seen the first part of that question, Ken. It's not come through. If you let us know what that is, I'll get it answered for you. Now, guys, before I go on to the next run of questions, we only have 20 minutes left. What we would love is a like and subscribe. But any other questions you've got from this moment on, put in the comments rather than in a live chat, because we can answer them in the comments after the show. But at the moment, I'm only at 9 minutes past 5. So if you've asked a question after 9 minutes past 5, then I'm still going to get to it. But anything after that, please from now on, just put questions in the comments, and I will make sure that I go through and answer them as best I can after the show as well. But yeah, we'll work our way through the stuff on the live chat for now and try and get as many as we can in the next 20 minutes. Chris, you mentioned in a stream a few days ago that you might do money off the CTR manipulation course again soon. Any idea when that will be?
Pricing is a funny thing, I'm planning on shutting that particular training down. So right before I shut it down, if you're on my list, I'm going to give somebody one last shot. Hey, if you guys want to learn how to do this one last time, or message me if you're already a subscriber on my channel and you've interacted with me before, I don't recognize your name. Message me. And if I notice you and I remember you applying value to my group or in my channel, then I'll send you a coupon.
Top man. Angad Kapoor, what kind of links have the best effect when you point to GMB CID URL? Chris, do you keep it niche or geographic specific or both?
See, I think that this is a massive misconception with the CID. I think that taking that URL, the string that's up at the top, adding keywords to it, placing it on another site. Now this is a link on a site or another domain, and you click it. Goes to your GMB. That's the link that you're building. It's the click on that going to the property and then more interaction happening is where the boost comes from. It's the interaction, the click, the traffic. Now that page that's sitting on, that's where you want to send the links into, in my opinion. You know, somebody might disagree with me. But I think that it's more so about applying that URL that's now a link, traffic through it is where the benefit comes from. Hopefully that helps you out.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and hopefully that does help you out. Craig Mullins is Mr. Campbell on a diet. I see a protein shake. So I do take protein shakes, but that is not because I'm necessarily on a diet, although I do need to lose weight. I'm under no illusion of that. But no, I have an eating disorder where I don't eat a lot of the good stuff in life. I eat a lot of junk, and I have a bit of an eating disorder, and I have to drink X amount of this shit per day just to get the good stuff into my body, because I don't eat like certain things, and obviously your body needs you know, the right things inside it. So yeah, that's why I drink that stuff. But yeah, but it'd be nice to lose a bit as well, and I'm planning on going back to the gym. So yeah, could be that time of year to lose a bit of weight. But there you go. bradleyhiphop. Now, Craig, how are you using Holly's DR manipulation course for tier 1 links, PBNs, or money site? Now, just to be clear, I haven't actually got that course. So I've not used this DR manipulation course from Holly, but I'm going to share my screen just to clear something up, just for anyone who is looking at this. So DR manipulation has obviously been around for a while. And here is a website. It's an old local website that I had, and it's been around for about 8 years or so. insurancerepairasglasgow.co.uk. Now, by simply manipulating the DR, which I took from 0 to 48, because the website's been lying dormant, it's live, but it's had nothing done to it for years. By manipulating the DR does not give me any more organic keywords or any traffic. It doesn't do anything other than manipulate the DR. So that is... So I want to clear that up, not because I think DR manipulation is necessarily a bad thing, but does DR manipulation actually improve the rankings of a website? Absolutely not a single bit. Now, could you kid on to your customers that you're doing a better job if you get the DR up? Yes. Could you sell links at a higher value because they think they're getting a link in a DR60 when it really should be a DR5? Yes. So there's so many other potential monetary benefits. Now, not that I'm suggesting that you do go around doing these things, but to manipulate DR isn't manipulating the search engines or doing anything to help your Google rankings. Google's really not that stupid by falling for that stuff. So I just want people to be sure of that is something, because again, I've tested that and really did want that shit to work and go, yes, we're on to something here. But it was before Holly's course that I tried all that stuff. You know, everyone manipulates DR. I didn't realize it was Holly had a course on it. DR's been manipulated for many years, and there's always arguments of whether that actually passes any value or not. But in my opinion and my testing, zero. So
first tricks I learned. I mean, how to redirect this link to boost power.
It's not good to fuck around with it though. But there you go. So Abe Niang any specific link building tips or tactics for ranking a website fast in a high competition niche in a foreign French speaking country? Chris.
I've never gone or ventured outside of the United States, but I do plan on it. I'm starting with the UK. So with that being said, tactics, I would take away the fast aspect. I don't think anything is fast. Maybe somebody's faster than me, but I always notice that it's time and consistency is the most important thing. But the tips are, the number one tip was make sure that your site is on point. Everything's working properly. Step one. Step two is make sure you have awesome content. And I don't mean like it's written perfectly. I mean, it's optimized perfectly. And then three is buy the best links or acquire the best links that you possibly can. And over the course of time, you'll start to rank. It's really that easy.
To add to that, to accelerate or scale any of those tactics that Chris has just mentioned, optimizing your content, getting better links, getting more links, all comes down to money. Can you do things faster with a higher budget? 100%. You're going to have to hit it. If you want to tackle it faster, then you have to spend the right money. And obviously at the start of any campaign, you're overloaded with things to do, whether that be optimizing content, whether that be creating content, whether that be getting some of your links or whatever it's going to be. So yeah, it's slightly easier in foreign niches. You know, the UK and the US are probably the most competitive markets. But if it's in a foreign niche, you may be able to do things a little bit quicker than you potentially would in the UK or the US. But just be careful. Try and not go for speed. Try and go for quality and longevity as well without obviously going too slow.
You think the UK is as competitive as the United States?
In certain ways, yeah, I would say. I think the level of SEO in the US in terms of overall knowledge and guys doing stuff is far superior in the US. I just think that in the UK, every market's saturated and everyone's doing it, where you guys have got a much bigger space, so it's not always as ultra competitive because the UK's got a lot of people living in, say, London, for example. Whereas you've got guys, you could make a shit ton of money in Pennsylvania, without even considering going anywhere else local. So it's any kind of gigs that I've operated in the American audience have not been any more competitive than the UK as such. But it's a hard one to say, to be honest. But I would certainly say the UK and the US are the top of the trio worldwide. But yeah, that's for sure. Nancy Reagan, lovely to see you, Nancy. How many links on a monthly basis would you suggest based on volume of traffic for an existing website? In your niche, Nancy, now I know Nancy off of this, and I know the niche that you're in, you would probably need a handful, Nancy, a handful for your niche in your area. I'd be saying less than 5 a month, 5 tops. I'm talking about good links, not crappy links or whatever, and I think if you're doing that consistently, then your rankings will soar through the roof. But you can message me after this, and I just have to look at the competition to make sure that someone's not building 55. But, having looked at your website previously, I don't believe that your market is in any way, shape or form competitive. Absolutely not. So with that said, I don't believe you need to be spending a fortune on links. So hopefully that answers your question. And I've just lost where I've got it.
More of general for anybody else with that type of question. Generally, what I'll do is I'll pull whoever the top competitor is, or maybe the second competitor, whoever you think is the guy or the gal. I pull in all of their links. I take away all the junk. Web 2s, anything junk, right? Take all that away. And then how many links are you left with? 200. So then you take that 200, you divide that by 12, and that's how many links I build on a monthly basis. Boom, 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 boom. And then over the course of a year, it seems like it takes about 9 months to really get, I mean, you start getting traffic very quickly, but I mean, to get up, you know, all the pages are starting to rank. I start publishing content. Boom, I'm on the second page. Like,
yeah,
9 months, you know, with a new site, it seems for me. I mean, maybe I'm not a pro. I don't know, but like 9 months is about the range for a new site for me, you know, faster, but I mean, ranking, all the pages are ranking. Anyway.
Anyway, Michael is asking, when building a niche site, how specific should you get? How specific would you get, Chris?
Well, I mean, if I were to do that, I don't really like those types of things. I like to, if it's a niche, I want to be able to cover a couple things. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience other than like discount sites and coupon codes. You know, like that's the only, I've done local, like plumbers, mostly real estate, travel clubs, timeshares. You know, it's more like lead gen stuff. You know, these guys have budgets. I'm able to get in and win quick. It's, you know, I don't know. That's a Craig question, really.
You can go as specific as you like. Like I've seen guys who sell nothing else but one product on a website. And as long as there's volume for that, that's fine. I think what you need to figure out in your head is, should I be selling shoes, right? So just use shoes as an example. Now you could sell trainers, boots, hiking boots, women's shoes, the full works, and that's very broad. You know, could you only sell women's shoes, or could you sell running trainers, or could you sell, you know, something like football boots? Only football boots. You could do any of these because there's enough volume in all of those variations. And I think obviously the more niche you become, you know, the easier things become. You know, rather than trying to go after men's shoes or women's shoes, it's a lot easier to go after like men's football boots or men's black football boots or, you know, whatever. So I think, you know, there's a lot to be said for, you know, condensing your website. It's all good and well having a big, large store that's got thousands of products on it. But remember, when you've got those thousands of products, you're leaking just to all, you know, 1,000+ pages. Whereas you can have a much more slimline version of a website that's very niche specific, that retains a lot of power and just ranks really well. So, you know, it really depends on the niche that you're in, you know, but there's guys out there who specifically sell things like plant pots, only plant pots, nothing else, just fucking plant pots. They don't sell soil, they don't sell flowers, they don't sell nothing else, because there's so much search for all the different sizes of plant pots that is their niche, and what they specialize in. So it's it really comes down to the search volume, in my opinion.
Would you say that that's along the same lines? Like, say I'm moving into you know, selling like digital cameras and that kind of stuff, right? I want to do that. Would you say that it's the same doing multiple products like on a tech site as it would be, say, you know, something I shared publicly, like HostGator coupons or theme codes I was ranking for, like that type? It was difficult, but it wasn't that hard, you know?
Yeah. I think if you were going to sell cameras full stop, then I'd probably say you're in trouble, you know, you're fighting a losing battle. If it's, you know, photography cameras or, you know, you're sticking to one type, then you can really niche down on that. But, you know, with anything, if you're going to be vague and you want to be found for those big vague search terms, then it's going to take a lot more work. So I think becoming the guy that deals in DLSR or whatever it is, cameras, could be a niche you could go down in, because most people are using that type of camera, or, you know, vlogging cameras. You could probably make a niche website and just talk about the variations of different vlogging cameras and equipment that you can get. And I've seen that, you know, there's guys out there who actually niche down into vlogging type of cameras. But I think a happy medium, you know, doing just all sorts of kind of digital cameras would probably be a sensible move, rather than just niching down too specific, because you want growth and scalability for sales and products. So just bear that in mind as well.
So it's the same. It's the same as me going out and trying to do like a HostGator coupon. It's the same thing, except they're now I have more stuff to sell.
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm stoked actually.
So Jay Satlane is asking, what type of anchor text should I use when backlinking? Do I need anchors?
You definitely want anchors coming in. I wouldn't think about, oh, I need to have this, I need to have that. Ideally, you want branded or exact, but it doesn't matter. Naked, it could be whatever they're willing to give, really, because at a lot of times you can't even really decide unless you're buying a link, and then you can say, okay, hey, this one. But I wouldn't worry about it. Just build the links. Do you worry about it, Craig?
Nah, because again, if you're building in tiers, your first couple of tiers are going to maybe have an exact match and, maybe a brand related one or whatever. And then any tiers underneath, doesn't really matter because, I think people get too bogged down in that type of thing. Obviously, don't spam it with exact match all the time, but it really comes down to the link building structure you've got as well. If you use a sensible tiered link building structure, you shouldn't have to worry about anchors. If you are the one-hit wonder who just goes out buying everything and slamming it to the homepage, then you want to mix those anchors up. But that isn't what I would call a good backlink building strategy anyway. So mix the stuff up, and obviously mix the pages that you link to up as well. And you shouldn't go far wrong. It's as simple as that. Don't overcomplicate that thing. Because again, that's what a lot of people worry about, ratios and that type of thing, and I think it's madness, absolute madness. But there you go. Elias, good to see you. That is the famous owner of SEO Autopilot, Mr. Elias. I'm not even going to try and say your second name, Elias, but he's on holiday somewhere in sunny Greece, which is where he's from anyway. We've still not got to that 45,000 yet, Elias, so your lifetime license is still safe with you for now. But guys, make sure that you do subscribe and share and everything else, because once that 45,000 gets hit, someone out there is going to get that prize.
I get that question a lot. And this is a good question for you, how does SEO Autopilot against a ranker X differ in a very short? Because I tried that one. I never tried SEO Autopilot. How would you say, what's the difference?
I think SEO Autopilot has been made because the Elias, the guy there, is an SEO guy, and he had a lot of frustration using the likes of Ranker X or Money Robot, where he kept pestering the guys to add certain features or capabilities just to diversify stuff up, and different, Web 2.0s or whatever it's going to be. And he kept pestering them to the point where he went, these guys are just not implementing. I'm wasting my time here. Like, what the fuck is the point? And so he then decided to build his own tool. So what it does is gives you the flexibility, because a lot of these automated link building tools are fairly restricted in terms of what type of links you can buy. Whereas SEO Autopilot, it can pull in stuff from Article Forge. You can basically mix all of this stuff up so it appears a lot more natural. Whereas, again, also with the likes of Money Robot or Ranker X, you're publishing to profiles that these guys potentially own. And SEO Autopilot is not publishing to their own properties. It's just the properties that are out there, and that database of properties is being updated all the time. So you're getting fresh inventory on there all the time, and that's what a digital marketer wants. Whereas, I think some of these other guys get lazy and the inventory doesn't get updated, and then it's just, everyone's just smashing the crap out of the same old projects, and there's no. It's just a massive footprint. If if you're Google, you're just going, all of these guys are using Ranker X, toss it in the bin. So I think SEO Autopilot has a lot of different diagrams. You can implement your own stuff, and there's a whole lot of other stuff where it just allows you to vary everything a lot more. And for me, that's why it's the best on the market. So there you go.
It's like the Ranker X on steroids times 2.
Yeah. So yeah. Ashton Lobo. So we're running out of time very, very quickly. We'll go through a couple of quick questions here. Any other questions, as I say, hopefully they're in the comments. We will answer them after the show. But Ashton is asking, if I have built high quality guest posts, how can I power my guest posts? Would a GSA blast help? What kinds of links would you suggest to juice up guest posts? So, Chris, what are you doing to juice up guest posts?
I buy niche edits.
Yeah.
So if I'm able to get a very good placement, the only thing that I want to point at that is other things that are really good, but I want them to be cheaper. So generally I go for the niche edits. That's me. That's what I do.
Niche edits is your best bet, Ashton, and most cost-effective way as well. Yes. Elton Musa, I love this question. Does sending links to RSS feed help rankings? You ever done anything like that, Chris?
I mean, I've been playing with it. I don't have a result or an answer yet. What do you think?
It's not something I've tried, but I like people who think that way. It's just it might not. I don't have the answer, but has anyone tried it? I'd love to know the answer to that.
My RSS.
Shoot a few links to it anyway and hope for the best. Listen, I just love the creative thinking that's went on there, and just the sheer audacity to just try stuff out is good job, Elton. Hasta la vista, boss. Good to see you. David Holgate. Hi guys, you mentioned Craig in the past about using citation links for affiliate sites. How do you go about the phone number issue? Do citations let you create listings without a phone number? Yes, they do. But what I would normally do is use a throwaway SIM card, because I've normally got a persona that owns a website. So if I've got an affiliate or a PBN site, then Dave Smith on my persona list with his mobile number and everything else is going to own that. And I would just whack the mobile number on there, but not something I'd worry about too much. Citations for affiliate sites, it's just about diversifying and building a bit of trust and domain authority up more than anything else, to be honest.
Well, when the travel club owner, when we do link building and he puts the websites, the phone numbers on there, he has a virtual number that's forwarded to a phone that's just for it just gets right into the feed of the people that answer the phones, the call center. So maybe get a virtual number is only $12 for the year. So just saying, you could get it, it just adds it.
Finally, before we go, Chris does have a group. If you just put in, what is it you search for? Chris Palmer
SEO on Facebook, it should pop up for you.
You'll find Chris's group there, so get involved. Happy Thursday to everyone. And we're going to finish off with young Umar. Are the guest post links the highest quality links, or are there even higher quality links available? Yes, higher quality. You just have to find them. PR stuff, whatever, just websites that don't regularly sell. There's tons of them out there. You just need to figure out a way of approaching the boss and schmooze them enough to allow your article or something about you to be placed on that website. But any kind of high-end PR link is going to be a lot more powerful than a guest blog post as well. So hence why people do a lot of costly PR as part of their campaigns. But sadly, guys, we are out of time. It has been a very quick hour. We do appreciate all of the questions. Sadly, we didn't get through them all. If you have put them in the chat on the video, I will make sure that I do spend some time to go and answer them as honestly as I can. And we will see you guys again next week, and be sure to make sure that you do give Chris some love on his YouTube channel. And also at the bottom there, you'll be able to see link. Chris does have a few courses that are available. He said he is taking down his CTR one very soon. So if you want to find out more and or want to grab them before they're taken away, then that is the link below there as well. So get involved. It's good stuff, guys. But other than that, we will catch you again next week. And also a big thanks to Chris for turning up.
Yeah.
Not hungover.
Sorry, man.
But nah, all good. So we'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys.
Cheers.